Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Today's episode is going to be about the scarcity illusion, rewiring your brain for abundance without the fluff. You guys know how I like to do these episodes, 5 points, go through all of them, and call it a day. So let's get straight into this episode. Point 1. Scarcity is a mental habit, not a reality. Most scarcity mindsets aren't based on facts. They're trained patterns of fear. We expect lack, so we see lack. Abundance starts by challenging the automatic thought, there's not enough. I saw this very much when I started my copywriting journey. I was trying to do email marketing for different businesses, and when I would get a client that wanted to hop on a call or would actually respond to my outreach, I would get so fixated on saying to myself, oh, I need to close this client. I need to close this client. I got to make sure that this is the client that I do work for, because I was coming from a place of scarcity. I didn't think I was able to get any other clients, right? So anytime I would get a response or get on a call, that is the kind of frame that I went off of. It was only when I changed my mindset from thinking there wasn't enough clients to thinking there are a lot of clients, I just have to find them, right? Because that is when you don't allow yourself to, go off of scarcity and think to yourself, I need to close this client. I need to close this client. People say that in sales. They'll say, every sale, you have a potential to close every sale, right? But when you're in a scarcity mindset, you kind of start talking too much on the sales call or trying to convince them even when they say no and they say they're not ready or whatever it is. Yes, there's moments to try to get over those objections, but when you've given all the information and you kind of see that everything's laid out and they're still, saying no or saying they want to think about it, that is when you get into that scarcity mindset if you allow yourself to, and you'll drop the price of what you have to offer. Or, maybe you'll do less of a service for them because you want to close it so bad. So it's super important to always operate in a mind of abundance, that there is so much out there for you, right? It's just like making content. Some people will spend hours upon hours on editing a video and hoping that that's the video that goes viral or that's the video that does it for them. When in reality, you can never think that way. You must just keep posting content, and one video is going to do good. One video will do well for you. I was posting so much content before my first video ever got 1 million views, and it took so long. Imagine if I operated from the mindset of, I need to close this. I need this video to do well. I need this video to do well. What would happen when the video didn't do well? That's when I would feel, lost, or start doubting myself if the content's worth it, or give up because I put so much work into something and it didn't come into fruition. So it's super important that you always operate from a mind of abundance. The second point is the brain is wired to protect, not prosper. Our brains evolved to survive, not thrive. Scarcity kept us alive in the wild, but it limits us in modern life. Learning to override that wiring is essential for success and peace. That is the reality, is that through how we lived before as a society, it was always about scarcity. So in order to develop an abundance mindset, you have to actually try. You have to rewire your brain. You have to catch yourself in those mental loops when you are operating from scarcity. It takes work. It takes effort, right? People don't understand that self-improvement and mindset training is a lot of effort, right? Because you're trying to rewire everything you once knew. And because of that, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of work to catch yourself when you are thinking like you used to, right? So I would say it's super important that you kind of give yourself a goal when it comes to your mindset training, because that is the only way you'll see progress. If you're someone that wants to stop complaining as much, if you don't actively catch yourself when you're complaining and do things to stop it from keep happening, you will never be able to start seeing progress in that mindset training when it comes to complaining, right? You can't just hope that you're going to stop complaining as much and it's going to happen for you. It doesn't work like that. The third point is abundance isn't about wealth, it's about perspective. You don't need to be rich to think abundantly. An abundance mindset starts with gratitude, generosity, and creativity. It's not about having more, it's about seeing more. It's about going into every new venture that you want in life and just seeing opportunity. I go in with the podcast, 10 outreaches every single day. Sometimes I get responses, sometimes I get 0 responses, right? But what do I tell myself? There are a million guests out there. If you're someone that has actually done outreach on social media, you will see that there is opportunity for everyone to do well, right? There's a million clothing brands. People always say clothing brands are too saturated. There's a million clothing brands out there. And I know this because I'm the one DMing these clothing brands. And they're all having success, right? What separates that? It separates that is because they all have their own uniqueness, right? And that is the beauty of having an abundance mindset, is you're able to see opportunity everywhere. Where someone will see oversaturation, you will see a time and a place for you to succeed, right? So it's all about perspective. It's all about changing your mind and thinking differently than others in those moments where people would think there is nothing left for them to have. Point 4, scarcity breeds competition. Abundance breeds collaboration. When you believe there's not enough, every single person becomes a threat. Flip it. Collaboration, networking, and generosity all flow from believing there's enough to go around. I love this because I remember seeing on a podcast that Joe Rogan was saying that he believes there's a piece of the pie for everyone, right? And if you're able to think in this way, you will start to see opportunities with helping others and being around others and learning from others, right? If someone's making the same content as you, you might think, oh, they're going to take my viewers, or more people are going to watch them instead of me. So I'm not going to give them advice. I'm not going to do this. But in reality, if you guys are both building a personal brand, if you're both trying to better your lives, you're able to bounce ideas off each other. And that is much more productive than viewing this person as a threat or viewing them as someone that is your competition, right? Because in the space of the internet, there is unlimited amount of real estate to go around for every single person, right? When it comes to any business, there is areas for everyone to succeed, right? If you want to see how much you're able to, accomplish, or how much you're able to actually do, just search up the market value of whatever industry you're going into, and you will see that a lot of these industries have millions or billions of dollars being generated per year. Why can't you make 100,000 from it? Why can't you take a small piece of the pie, right? Self-improvement, people will say, is oversaturated, but there are so many self-improvement content creators that are all doing well, that are all inspiring many people, right? Just like podcasts. I bet if I searched it up right now, how many people listen to podcasts on a yearly basis? It's in the millions, obviously. So if it's in the millions, why can't I have 10,000 people listening to my podcast? That's amazing to have 10,000 listeners. So it's super important that you always come from that perspective, and collaboration is the key to success. The final point is rewiring starts with inputs. Who you follow, what you read, and how you speak to yourself all reinforce either scarcity or abundance. Audit your mental diet, then reprogram the truth, not fluff. I've had so many great guests on, from Alex Karnev, Kyle Massey, that all speak about this, right? They all kind of view life in abundance, and because of that, they're able to see opportunities. And when you're able to see opportunities, those opportunities usually come to you, because the person that doesn't see the opportunities in the first place never knew they existed because they closed their mind off to it, right? So it's super important that what you're reading, what you're consuming is all coming from a place of abundance, because if it is, you will see opportunities everywhere. And when you see those opportunities everywhere, you will go for them. And one of those opportunities are going to be the thing that sets you free. That is all I wanted to speak about in this podcast. Thank you for making it this far. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, and let me know any future topics you'd like me to discuss in the future. Thank you, everybody, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Rush a cold to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to rhyming.